This is the LTV formula that changes the way that you look at marketing for your cleaning business. So if you knew that one new recurring client was worth $3,600 for your house cleaning business, would this change the way that you viewed marketing? Because many people look at marketing and advertising in terms of their lead cost or their cost of acquisition, but actually the most important number you need to be aware of is your LTV. This is your customer lifetime value. This is the amount of money that that customer brings to your business over the lifetime that they're with you. Because if you knew that one new recurring client was worth thousands of dollars to you, suddenly spending money on ads doesn't look as risky. It's a smart move. And in today's video, I want to take you through the math behind LTV and show you that if you are on top of that number, you can potentially outspend your competitors and still make a great profit margin at the end. So let's dive into it. So what is LTV and why is it important? So in the cleaning business, as we know, we get different types of client types. We get your one-off clients who may be the move and move out jobs, your post-construction jobs, but a large amount of your clients and your client revenue will come from recurring clients. So in the house cleaning business, these will be homeowners that are asking you to clean your house every week or every 2 weeks, and they're paying you money consistently for each clean. So the reason why LTV is really important is because a mistake that I see many, particularly new cleaning businesses make, is that they might say, we brought on a new weekly client and they're paying us $150, and they just look at, okay, how much money did we spend this month? How many clients did we get, and what was that one-off revenue that we got from that client? But that is really, really undercooking it, because one new recurring client isn't worth just that $150. It's worth that 150 times all the different number of times that you will end up cleaning for that client. So LTV is really, really important. And at a basic level, we need to be well aware that the value of a recurring client is far in excess of one-off jobs. And when we are thinking about marketing, the first question should always be, how many recurring clients did we get? What is the lifetime value of an average recurring client? And if you multiply the number of recurring clients times the average lifetime value, that is the aggregate value that has been created by that marketing source in that month. And you can add in the one-off jobs, the one-off job profits as well, but this is really the cherry on top. Most of your return on investment will be driven by the number of recurring clients that you bring into your business. So let's go through an example of a house cleaning business. Let's say you're running Google Ads and you have spent $1,000 and you've got 4 recurring clients come off the back of that. So that means that 1,000 divided by 4 is $250 for your acquisition cost. So the cost to bring on a new recurring client into your business through Google Ads is $250. So let's say that the average recurring client in your business is paying you $150 a month, $150 per cleaning, and a typical recurring schedule or frequency is bi-weekly. So they pay you $150 every 2 weeks. So let's say $300 over the month. And again, another assumption that we will make is that the average lifetime value, or the lifetime that that client stays with you, is for 12 months. And if you're running a good quality cleaning business, in actual fact, it's probably going to be in excess of 12 months. But let's make the maths really, really simple. So a bi-weekly client pays you $150 every 2 weeks. 150 times 2 is $300 over the month. $300 times 12 is $3,600. That is the total revenue that recurring client brings you. And let's say you are paying your cleaners 50% of that amount. So 50% of $3,006 is $1,800. So the $1,800 number is what I would look at the gross profit of that recurring client. It is the amount of money that is left behind after you pay your cleaners. So we want to take that $1,800 in gross profit and compare it to our acquisition cost on the Google Ads campaign that we ran. So as I said, we put in 1,000, we got 4 recurring clients out. That means the acquisition cost is $250. So in effect, we've spent $250 to get $1,800 in gross profit back. So obviously we don't get that entire $1,800 back on day one. It's spread over the 12 months, but you can take that $1,800, divide it by 250 to come up with your return on investment. So 1,800 divided by the 250 comes to 7.2. So 7 times return on investment. So what that means is that for every dollar we put into Google Ads, we're getting $7 out. And this shows that we're making a really great return on investment. And if you've got capacity and you're at those levels, you need to be pumping more and more money, because it's basically giving you more money out than you're putting money in for. So good marketing, once you know your lifetime value and once you're going through this calculation, this return on investment calculation, you then want to go and try all the different marketing strategies out there and to track the ROI for all those channels, both online channels and offline channels. And this is what we do at my agency, Project 83. We work with cleaning companies on their digital marketing, and it's about running great campaigns, but also tracking things very carefully. So if you're interested in what we do, I'll leave a link in the description below. So the next stage and the interesting step is then, how can we outspend our competitors yet make more money? And this is where things get really interesting, because in that return on investment calculation, you have your gross profit that you get from that client, and you've got your acquisition costs, and we can change both of those things. So if we are running a really great marketing campaign, we can usually bring down that acquisition cost further. So it goes maybe from $250 to say $200. So if you've got the same gross profit being generated, but on a lower acquisition cost, it means that your return on investment is higher. On the top side, on the gross profit side, let's say you're running a really great quality cleaning business, and your lifetime isn't 12 months for your recurring clients, it's 18 months. So you've got an additional 6 months of revenue that is being generated. So your gross profit, your aggregate gross profit, is going up. So the very best cleaning companies out there that we're working with tend to have a really great retention. Their clients stay with them for a long time. So their numerator, that top number, the gross profit number, is higher than their competitors. And if they're running their marketing really well, which is obviously where we can come in and help, then their denominator, that lower acquisition cost number, is lower. And when you make improvements to both those numbers, it means that your return on investment is much, much higher than all your competition out there. So the reason that you can outspend your competitors yet make money is because both of those two numbers are working in your favor. And when you get to that position, you're in a really great position versus your market, because you can advertise hard across all your top performing channels, and you can bid more aggressively, you can pay more for those clicks, pay for more for those leads, because you are still making money even though you're outbidding your competition. So if you're getting more leads and more clients, funnily enough, your cleaning business will continue to accelerate whilst your competitors see a slowdown. So this LTV formula is critical. Most cleaning companies that I work with don't know what this number is at the beginning, and that is what we need to go into a bit more depth. But once you have that number and you're tracking your marketing in terms of acquisition costs, you're going to be ahead of, I would say, 90 to 95% of cleaning businesses out there. And once you have these metrics in place, it's then about trying all the marketing channels, going hard with those that are performing best at the time. And that's what I want to go into in the next video. What I think are the best marketing channels for cleaning companies in 2026. It'll go into what I think are the top performing channels. And if you take what you've learned from today's video and apply it to these marketing channels, you are going to be in a fantastic position to grow your business further. So I'll see you on the next one.